All right, you guys, I don't have a mic on this or anything, so forgive me for the sound, but it's a beautiful day out. Anyway, I've got some rigid headlamps here on my 2021 Subaru Outback Limited. It's got the turbo on it. And I got these rigid lights here, and they're the yellow ones, and I wanted them on a different switch. So this is a light bar. It can actually handle 4 lights, and you can see the bracket underneath as well. And this is pretty easy to put on, so I'll put the link to that in the description. You did have to do a little bit of cutout underneath to get that bolt under there and pull off the lower cover, which was a bit of a hassle. Probably the hardest part of the whole job, next to trying to install these clips right here that go back in these braces. But it's pretty solid. You don't want to pull the car with it, but it's a light bar. So I got the wiring all done. I bought some wiring from Hella because it was so much cheaper than the stock. But let's see if we can get under here. But basically the wire for the lead comes up through here, and you can just wire tie them right to these guys, right to this brace right here, all the way across. And so I got some coupling for it, tubing for it, or rather, that you put the wire in and you just run it across. So I didn't want to hang in here because this is the intake for the turbo. And then both of them come out to the side. And then I just ran everything underneath this cover, and this just pops up with these 3 leads right here. So just pop those up, it comes up. And you can see I haven't hooked it up yet. I've got the 2 leads right here. So we'll do that in a little bit. We'll hook them up to the battery there. But with the kit that I bought, I think it was like, I don't know, $20 or $30. It came with a relay. And that's really what you want. The relay is just like your relay on your AC unit. So you've got your little, 12 volt or 5 volt inside the house, whatever it is, for your thermostat. And your thermostat doesn't run the whole load through all of that because it's usually 240 volt. And it trips a little relay inside your air compressor or on your unit outside, and that allows the 240 volts to run to power your compressor and all that stuff. Well, this does the same thing. So it's just a little relay, and so that's all the switch inside is going to do. Right, this is going to be your main power, and then this power, once the relay trips and makes the current go, it'll run to the 2 LED headlights. So this has still got to run inside. This is my other lead. So I'll run that down, and I've been told the best way to do it is to run it through this main wiring lead. So I still have to do that. I'll tell you how that goes. There is a bit of a gap there. There was a nice place to drill a hole through the firewall. So I'm too bad Subaru didn't do something like that. Like some of the Jeeps have some room for that. There's quite a bit of room in here though, so surprisingly. Especially for putting it over here like that. So anyway, the trick is I didn't want a cheese ball switch. I didn't want to put anything on here. I didn't want to put anything sticking out on the dash. There's this blank right here. And the lower end models of the Outback, you can get the OE fog light kit. This one already comes with it, so it's in the stock to turn the fog lights on and off. That's what this guy is right here. I don't know if you can see it or not, but at any rate, I wanted a switch right here. So I found that switch finally after a couple tries, and pulled it off and looked what was here. So I got pictures of that, and I'll put the part number in the description below. But that's what I wanted. I want it to look real clean, just real nice. So we'll have that, and backlit with these other ones. So what I'll do is show you how I'm doing this. That switch did not come with a pigtail. So I'm making my own pigtail. It's really easy to do. I'll show you how to do it here in a bit. But that's what we want to do. And this dash comes off pretty easy. Pop this cover off and this whole thing pops out. You can even pop this out by itself. Then we'll get that going. So that's where we're at. All right, guys, so we're back in. This is the switch that goes in the front panel. So, and it stays lit whenever the headlights are on and stuff, when the interior lights are on. And so it didn't come with a pigtail, like I said, but I made one, and that's what this is. And I got the idea because I've been working with Arduinos lately. And so with Arduinos, you can get a breadboard and you get these wires, these little 1 millimeter wires. And again, I'll put the link in the description below. But these are like, you know, dirt cheap, and they have the little squares already, pinouts. 1 millimeter is like a standard electrical size for these switches, so it fit onto them almost perfectly. I actually filed one of these little squares down just a little bit, the end one, and it fits like a glove, and it's pretty solid. It's not going to come out. I mean, if you really get weird about it, you could probably fill that full of silicone. You'd be all right. But it's solid, not going to come out. It's sitting in the car, it'll be fine. So to determine ground, that was the first thing. It was, okay, which pin is which? So to determine ground, I just have my 9-volt battery here, and it's a 12-volt system. So easy enough to do. You put it on and figure out which one's which. So one is powering it, and one goes to ground, and that's what that does. So it should be lighting up. Let's see if I can get this darn thing to go. Forgive me here. There we go. Red, look at that. I can make it go. So of course 9-volt, it's not gonna hurt it. There's probably a resistor inside. There's usually a resistor associated with the LED that's inside. So just don't be putting, you know, 24, 48 volts on it. You probably fry the resistor, but so we're good there. You know that's ground because it doesn't work in reverse. So if we flip the 2 leads around, it doesn't work. So that's how I was able to determine ground, and that's this middle lead right here. So black is ground, and with the green wire I've made here is going to be the power. And I'm gonna get that from the other switches, so that when the cabin lights are on, it'll get power from the switch next to it. And so we're gonna tap into that, and it's really easy to do. I'll show you how to do that too. And then the outer 2 were easy enough to check, and that's the power for working the relay inside the car. So it doesn't matter which way the flow of current goes. You can go through the blue first or the red first, whatever. And so we're gonna get power from the relay that way. So power to and from the relay. So that's what this is gonna trip, is that relay. And then the relay is gonna trip the full current directly from the battery to the LED lights. So hopefully that makes sense. If it doesn't, just do some research on relays, and there's a bunch of videos out there on that. So, all right, so to check continuity, breaking the power to the relay, that's the outer 2, the red and the blue. And so I got my multimeter out, and I've turned it to my little noise thing here, and you can hear there is no sound right now, but when I push the button, it's made that contact. So turn it off and it goes off. And so that's how I figured out the outer 2 are definitely the power for the relay that you're braking and unbraking. So at any rate, that's how that works. Pretty straightforward. So the black line and the green line, this is going to be to my ground out in the car, out in the underneath the hood. And I guess I could do it to the other relay or to the other switch, but I'll just run it out that way. And then this guy is going to be powered from inside my switch next to this switch. So that's going to get the interior power. And then these two guys are going to run outside the cabin. And I also bought some, where are they? I also bought some little clips here. So these clips, I'm going to solder these guys together really neatly, and with some shrink tubing, and do it right. So we'll have a little coupling, and these guys are actually going to run out into the vehicle, or 3 of them are. And then these guys are going to be connected up here to this guy, so we can, if we ever need to disconnect this switch, we can. So otherwise, pretty straightforward, not much to it. Just have to know a few little tricks, and then next video we'll get it installed and get it ready to go, and hopefully it'll work good. So here we are. I'm going to try to run this lead through the firewall, and then this guy will be left on this side, and he'll hook up to my lead right over here. So I managed to get a coat hanger wire, just a little sharp, and came up through the top here, and I just punched right through. And it wasn't too bad. You had to use a little bit of force and have a friend help you, but basically down in here, let's see if we can crawl under here real quick. Oh, how do we get some light? But it's right up in there, and it looks like a drain hose for a washer dryer unit. Anyway, all right guys, so I ran the lead here, and we got the coupling right here, and it goes down right into it, and I managed to puncture a little pinhole and then pull all the wires through, so it's good to have a buddy. And then all the wires come through right down here. So we'll get those all hooked up and then run it up to here with my other lead. All right, you guys, we're back at it a bit today. It's a bit nice out, a little cool. But I just want to show you this cover, how this cover pops off. And I've got the positive lead right here, and I've got it in the conduit. And there's the hella wire came with a fuse, so we can use that. And then add a little bit more, but it's tucked underneath here, and here's your relay right here and your connection, and then able to run it down through the grommet down there. So I put my ground too on this bolt, so it was nicely there. So we just pop this guy back on, and you're pretty much set. It covers it up really nicely. So come in here. So you got one of them in. You just don't want to depress these things as you're putting them in. Makes it all the more difficult. So just put it in like that, and then you just push down on it. It snaps into place pretty easy. Let's check this one out. There we go. And that goes in there. Voila. And now everything's hidden, and we just have our positive lead coming out. And this is just the conduit I was using. So pick it up at any automotive store. Pretty easy. And so that's it for under the hood. That was a bit more challenging than I thought. So what I ended up doing was using just my coat hanger, and I had the end, it was kind of sharp. And that boot, it's actually a boot, so don't be too scared that you'll puncture through the wiring there. If you come at it through the bottom at an angle, you'll angle up and through out the top like I did right there. So I don't know if you can see that or not, but this is the actual wire right here that I'm tapping on, and it just goes right into the boot there. I might seal that with a little bit of silicone, but we'll see. But this is pliable, so when you're poking your coat hanger through, you can kind of feel that flex. So just give it a good push. If it's really hard, then you're probably bumping into wire. It should be like a trampoline. And it's good to have a buddy out here too. My wife stood out here, and she made sure that I was pushing it up and pushing on the right corner there before I really gave it a thorough push through. And it popped right through, and then I tied the wire to that and then strung them through. So that was it. And then I just tied it here and wrapped around, and you're all set. So we're set to go now for the finishing job on the inside. So I've already tested it, by the way. And that's something good to do. So I've got it actually hooked up in the car, and then just test the lights before you install the switch. And you should be good to make sure everything works right. That's it. All right, you guys, we got success. So I still got it a little bit dismantled, but we got the switches in there. And I'll put it back together here in a second. But as you can see, I tied in right here to the red wire. Ground is brown. Go figure. I don't get it. But anyway, that's what it turned out to be. And the lights, they all come on. Even that one, he's red, even though I ordered a white one, but I don't know what the deal is with that. But as far as the positive terminal, I just cut this little piece of plastic right here and screwed it to this bolt. Be careful not to drop the little clamping device down there like I did. I had to magnetize a screwdriver to get it back out, but that's the way it goes. So she's all set. I'll button it up. Oh, I should show you. Let's see. So it'll turn on without the power to the car because I've got it hardwired directly to it. So just to prove to you that the lights come on. You want to turn it off? There you go. Off they go. So we're all set. It looks awesome. All right, you guys, so we are all set, all buttoned up. I got everything underneath back together and routed up there so you don't get caught in your feet. And if you listen closely, that's the relay underneath the hood, but it is hardwired, so it's always going to run that light even when the car's off. So that's what I wanted. All right, you guys, so here we are. We're all warmed up. We'll go for make sure everything works. So you can see the switch in there. Let's see if we can, just to prove that it actually works. So I'm going to turn the lights on. There we go. Now it's red. You can see those lit up white. So there we go. All works.
Talk to Papa for a couple of
That looks
minutes.
fantastic. So now we know exactly which button to hit.
Let me see it all lit up.
There it is.
Steering
All
wheel's in
lit
the
up.
way. Oh yeah.
Cool. All right. Good job.